Hey, so in this video we're now on page 45 in our binders. So if you could find that page, pause the video and start it up when you're ready to go. So we've got two types of terms that are we see in linear equations. Okay, and terms are always separated by pluses and minuses. And we have things called the variable term, which is a term that includes a variable like x or y. And a constant term is just a number, has no variable. So we've got this equation down below here where it says first draw a box around each variable term in the equation below. So I'm going to draw a box around every term that has an x or a y. So in this case, I draw a box around 13x and then negative 5x, because the pluses or minuses are always connected to the term to the right of the symbol. So that minus goes with 5x. And then the positive 2x is my other variable term. Those are all variable terms because they have a variable in them. Then it says draw a circle around each constant term. So those are the ones that don't have variables, like the plus 7, and notice I circle the plus. The 3, which is really a positive 3, has an invisible plus in front of it. And then the minus 15, make sure you circle the minus. Okay? So when an equation has variables on both sides, in order to solve the equation, what we need to do is collect all the variable terms. So you need to write that in. Collect all the variable terms on one side and all the constant terms on the other side. So we have split the equation in half with the equal sign. I'm going to say I'm going to put all the variables on one side and all the non-variables, all the constants on the other. Okay, we can use addition and subtraction to do that, but we always have to keep the equation balanced. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So let's do a couple examples here at the bottom. It says collect variable terms on one side first. That's going to be our kind of rule, is we always want to do the variables first. All right, so I'm going to take number 1. I'm going to draw my line down the middle like we usually do. And I see that I have x's on both sides. I have 7x and I have 4x. So what I want to do is move those over by subtracting. I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides because that's the smaller one. And what happens when I do that is 4x minus 4x will cancel out. So what am I left with? Well, on the left side, I have like terms. 7x minus 4x is 3x. I still have minus 5. I didn't do anything with that. Equals 10. And now we're at that spot where we can go through the chart if we wanted to. We could say what happens to x. First it's multiplied by 3. Then it's subtracted 5. And then it equals 10. So to go backwards, I started at 10. And I go backwards, I add 5. I do the inverse operations. And then I divide by 3. So that would be 10 plus 5 equals 15, divided by 3 equals 5. So I'm going to get x equals 5. And that's the work you can show. You can do a table like that. Let's try number 2. Okay, in number 2, I draw my line down the middle again. I have 2x plus 1 equals 8x minus 29. This time, so the 8 is the bigger one, so I kind of want to get everything over with the 8x. So I'm going to do minus 2x to move the 2x to the other side. And that cancels out. And so then I get 1 equals 8x, take away 2x is 6x minus 29. And here we are again. We can do our chart. X, and we're gonna do, so what first happens to x? It's first multiplied by 6 and then subtracted 29 and the equals 1. equals 1. So, going in reverse, equals 1. I can go backwards to plus 29 is my inverse operation. And then divide by 6. So I get 1 plus 29 equals 30. And then 30 divided by 6 equals 5. So I get my answer, x equals 5. Oh, same answer. How about that? Okay. What about number 3? Let's draw our line down the middle. This time I have 3x equals negative 2x minus 10. You notice there's an x on both sides, so I have to fix that. I have to clean it up. So I go plus 2x plus 2x. Why am I doing that? Well, the negative 2x, that's the smaller one. And if I add it, I'm going to keep things positive. Okay? So now we have 5x equals, those cancel, negative 10. At this point, you might not need a chart for this. You could say, well, it's 5x equals negative 10. What am I going to do to both sides? I'm going to divide by 5. And then we get x equals negative 2. All right. Let's move on here. Okay. We're going to try these examples at the bottom of page 46 now. So on these problems, we have a little bit of cleaning up to do. So bottom of page 46, distributing or combining like terms. We have to do that first. So let's see. I've got 3x plus 1. So I'm going to I see that parenthesis there, so I want to distribute that. And so I make it 3x plus 3, because I do 3 times 1, equals 2x plus 7. And now I need to get my sides cleaned up. I need to get 2x or 3x all on the same side. So I pick the smaller one, I subtract minus 2x minus 2x. And now that gives me x plus 3 equals 7, because those cancel out. Let's do the algebraic way here. I've got my line still. X plus 3, what's the inverse operation? It's minus 3. So I get x equals 7 minus 3, which is 4. You might have a problem like number 9. In number 9, there's no parentheses, but there are some like terms I have to deal with first. I've got that 13x minus 3x. Do you see that? I need to clean those up. I need to simplify first. So I'm going to do 13 minus 3. That is 10x plus 7 equals 11 plus 2x. I still have an x on both sides now. So I'm going to pick the smaller one and subtract 2x minus 2x. Those will cancel, and I get 10x minus 2x is 8x plus 7 equals 11. You could do the chart like we did on the previous page, or I can kind of solve it with the algebraic method, where so I first have to get 8x alone, so plus 7, the opposite, the inverse is minus 7 on both sides, and that gives me 8x equals 4. 11 minus 7 is 4, and then I'm going to divide by 8, x equals 4 over 8. I can reduce that. They both divide by 4, which gives me 1 over 2. And let's do this one last problem, number 10. So I see some parentheses, so I'm going to distribute my 2 there, which gives me 4x plus 2 times 3 is 6 equals negative 3x plus 6. Draw my line. What's smaller, 4x or negative 3x? It's negative 3x, so that's the one I want to deal with, but since it's negative, I have to add it, plus 3x. I do the opposite, plus 3x. And that way, again, I'm going to stay positive. 4x plus 3x is 7x. Let's do that, plus 6 equals, those cancel out, equals 6. Okay. Now I'll deal with the numbers. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides to get the x alone. And it's 7x equals 6 minus 6 is 0. Well, 7 times what equals 0? 0, right? If I divide both sides by 7, 0 divided by 7 is just 0. So x equals 0. All right, that's all. Thanks for watching.